fact. Male pattern baldness is psychologically harder to deal with if you are of a younger generation, say younger than me. As you all know, I've got my 20th high school reunion coming up in a few months. So that puts me at 37, 38, yeah, I turned 38 in April. I'm of a different generation than most people watching my videos. I know the demographics because I have an app that shows me. Most of you are between like ages 16 to like 32. You're of a different generation than I am. I did not grow up the way you, internet didn't even come out until I was old enough to drive. When I turned 16, 1997, that's when the internet came out. So I didn't grow up with the internet. And even then, the internet in 1997 was not awesome. So there are 3 specific things, just off the top of my head, this is how simple this is for me to understand why it's harder for younger guys to deal with hair loss than it is guys my age or older. So let's get to them. The first one is, like I'd already mentioned, where's my phone? Is what I'm gonna call social media comparison and confirmation. In case you're new to my channel, I do this all the time. This is younger generations especially. Think about Snow White, the witch on there. Mirror, mirror of them all, who's the fairest of them all? Here's what people do on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Scroll. Oh, he's got more hair than me, man. He's older, he's got more hair. Huh? Oh man, look at that beard. You can go, okay, let me scroll that. I'm gonna compare myself to him. Okay, I need to post a picture that makes me look cool. And oh, I'm having a good hair day, so let me like. Okay, let me post that. Okay, I'm gonna wait 10 minutes. How many likes can I get? Come on, please, come on, like this video. Tell me that I'm attractive and that I'm good and that I'm funny and that I'm likable. I need you to confirm who I am and confirm my identity. Please like my video. Please like my little short video I made and my picture and my tweet. I need you to like me. Please, Facebook on the wall. Who's the coolest guy of them all? Who's the best looking of them all? I need you to tell me who I am. Okay, now I know that's a bit theatrical, but I really believe that is ingrained in the mentality of younger generations, and they're up against that. Imagine psychologically how you're wired if that's how you're growing up right now compared to a guy who didn't. I did not grow up that way at all. I even met my wife in real life. There was no dating app. We actually were at the same place at the same time, and I walked up to her and we met in person without ever seeing each other on the internet. I know that's going to sound like an archaic story in about 20 years. But I think that alone, right there, is only making this perception of hair loss and that people won't like me, people won't think I'm attractive, because people are depending on the people on the other side of their phone to tell them who they are, instead of looking inward to figure out who you are. And instead of asking, because that's what, when people post on social media, they're never saying anything. They're always asking something. Am I worthy? That's what they're asking. I don't ask people if I'm worthy. I know I'm worthy. Not because I'm some awesome person, but because I know what I'm good at and I'm bad at. I know those things. And I'm confident in knowing that I'm bad at a lot of things. And I'm confident knowing that I'm good at actually a couple of things. That's good enough for me. So my identity is not based on other people. Imagine the irony, the word self-esteem, and you base your self-esteem on other people. It makes no sense. And that is a challenge that younger generations are up against. All right, next up, number 2 reason I'm going to go with on this is there are more perceived solutions of hair loss. And I say perceived solutions. This is people spending time, money, and energy. Let's say that with me again. People are spending time, money, and energy to try to stop a cosmetic issue that's caused by their own DNA. And now you just drive down the interstate, you look at the billboard, oh, look at that guy's before and after before that hair transplant. Oh, let me look at this commercial for Propecia or whatever kind of drug it is. Hey man, have you heard of the micro tattoo pigmentation? Hey man, have you heard of putting onion juice on? It's all these perceived solutions that, okay, well, if you just do this and you don't do this, then you're not going to go bald. It's this perception that suddenly this problem is solvable. And hair loss is not a problem. Genetically, many men, we should look this up, probably most men, are going to experience hair loss by their 35th, 40th birthday. To me, that's not a problem. That's simply how men are created, and it's normal. But the fact that there are these perceived solutions makes it almost seem like, well, if you don't buy into one of those solutions, and that's not even talking about how much money it costs or their possible side effects, that if you don't get a solution, then you, again, are less worthy of a person, because you get to choose now if you're going to go bald. But I say you get to choose whether you're going to be confident as you go bald. That's what I say. Now, lastly, and I saved this one for last, and this is, I mean, they're all important, but here it is. The younger generations than me, hair loss psychologically bothers them more. And people aren't talking about this enough, but because what I'm going to call infinity porn, that was the infinity symbol, infinity porn. Now remember, my generation, I was driving the same year the internet came out. Did I have access to pornography on my phone, my computer? Guys my age, it was about a Playboy that they stashed somewhere. Now, this is astonishing what I'm about to tell you, and some of you are going to have trouble grasping this, but I'm being honest with you. I've never looked at pornography. I've never seen a porno movie. I've never looked at a Playboy. It's a fact. I never have. I was never interested in it, because even as a teenager, I knew that that was going to psychologically rewire how I perceived women, and I just wasn't interested. It wasn't even about discipline for me. It was the principle of the thing. I was not interested in looking at that. Now, with that being said, there's PG-13 rated movies that show topless women. So I've seen movies that have naked women in them, brief shots of that, but there's a difference in that compared to someone in their room pulling up something on their phone or laptop in the privacy of their home and doing what people do along to a porno video. Completely different. And especially for the fact it's infinity porn. It's as much as you possibly want or could possibly, and there's so many different versions of it. Like, that's not going to psychologically affect young men who are already corrupted by social media confirming their identity, who are already confused because there's perceived cures for hair loss. And then on top of that, they're looking at this pornography all day long before they even understand what women can even begin to understand how women actually operate and how an adult relationship actually works. So yeah, I'm very far removed from my audience in many ways, simply because I'm from a different generation and I've made different choices throughout my life. I always chose to ban pornography. I fundamentally was not interested in doing that to my brain. So it's very obvious to me. It's very obvious to me that I serve as a relevant host because I'm an outsider. I know that's usually the opposite. Usually you're supposed to be able to relate to your audience. For me, there's no way around this. I'm one of the world's leading hair loss YouTubers. We can't deny that. I'm one of the most popular. And it's not because I went bald young. I still have most of my hair and I'm almost 40. And it's not even because I can relate to what guys are going through. I'm popular because I am able to be a voice of reason. I'm able to serve as a mentor and tell you stuff that other people aren't going to tell you. My agenda is not to help you figure out how to prevent hair loss. It's to help you psychologically overcome hair loss. And when you look at all these three issues I mentioned in this video, really they're all psychological. It's a matter of using the biggest muscle you got, your brain. Now, I'm glad you're here. This has probably been a challenging video for a lot of people. Maybe you're a new subscriber and you're like, okay, this isn't what I signed up for. And maybe it's not. That's fair to say. It's okay if this is the last video you watch. It's okay if people dislike the video. I understand that. But I think at the end of the day, or at the end of this 10-minute video, we can agree that what I've said may have been unpopular. Maybe you don't hear these things a lot. But ultimately, the generational difference between me and the people who watch my videos, you've got it rough compared to me. So let me end this video with a ray of hope. And I'm reading my own notes here as I was thinking about this. So what's the good news here? Well, the good news is bald is cool. Bald is good looking. Women are attracted to bald. Granted, you shave it all off, you work out, you smile, you know how to actually treat women, you're kind, you're helpful, You're aware of what you're good at. You're aware of what you're bad at. And you're not seeking confirmation of your identity from other people. When you can do those things, who cares if you're bald? But when you have all those things I just named, plus a shaved head, plus you're working out, and you're a confident guy who treats people kindly and smiles, and all those other things I just said, then it doesn't matter about all this bald stuff, because now you're actually using this to your advantage. Not to mention, the bald look is masculine. And isn't that the selling point to attract women? To look masculine? So if bald is masculine, this is what I'm all about. This is what this channel is all about. If you can't begin to imagine being on board with what I'm talking about this, then this channel is not for you. You need to go to someone who's going to tell you what you want to hear. But I'm Nick Shell, and I don't tell people what they want to hear. That's not what I do. I tell you what you need to hear, even if you're not ready for it. And maybe you'll be ready for it in a couple more years, and you're welcome back at that time. Comments belong right here.